Okay, the Vox Little Night Train set. You can see sort of over here I've got an OD plugged in I use as a boost. It's disengaged for this section. Basically I'm going to run through some of my favorite settings on it personally. Right now for this current setting I've got like net coil tapped, and that's the main position I'll be using. This is basically a moderately clean overdriven power section tone. I've got the amp cranked up, gain just past noon, and it's on the first channel. After that I'm gonna reconfigure the EQ, dial it down a little bit, and engage the boost and do some heavier stuff. But yeah, this is mostly stock. I replaced some tubes. I've got an old stock RCA gray plate 1287 in the power section over here, and then I've got two CP electro-harmonics in the preamp right here, and then the boost. Otherwise it's stock though. I basically just swap tubes and that's it. Alright, here we go then. Okay, this is full humbucker mode. Same setup though. This is still in the first channel setup. Now for the metal settings for you guys, basically dime the treble, stay on channel 1, use a boost. Not a gain boost, a volume boost, pure signal. Dial the bass on the amp all the way off, out, however you want to say it. With my boost, I'm using a Bad Monkey, so I've got the volume all the way up. I've got the lows at noon, the highs at 2 o'clock, and I've got the gain dialed out completely, no gain. It's noisy right now. Got a lot of stuff plugged in here, so apologize for that. Get the idea across though. And one of the other really cool things I discovered about this amp, I'll show you real quick, is that you can plug in headphones without engaging the speaker load itself. Apparently, it's the first tube amp of its kind that allows you to do that. The other benefit to it, though, is, see, 1/8 inch jack, that you can plug in computer speakers with a volume knob, and then you have speakers with attenuation, so you can crank the amp up completely and then turn the volume down on your speaker system, and you can have a truly cranked tube pre and power amp at any volume you want. If you don't decide to do that, I mean, obviously computer speakers, some of them can be pretty harsh. You'd have to have a pretty good set for that. But if you plug it in normally, it's still pretty loud cranked up. You can, however, still get pretty good tone anywhere on the volume dial, and you can have it dialed down so low that you can't hear it unless your head is against the speaker, which I know isn't the most useful in theory, but you know, for bedroom players and whatnot, that's pretty convenient. Right now, this resides in my living room. It's probably going to be my bedroom amp literally pretty soon. I'm about to get another amp to put in the living room. But yeah, this thing's actually pretty killer. I definitely recommend using a noise gate. Normally I have one plugged in. I forgot to do that for this. I use an ISP decimator, and even though it doesn't have an effects loop or anything like that run through the front, it does actually completely negate any noise. Sounds crystal clear, nice and chunky. It's got that nice resonance, good harmonic content, actually surprisingly good note separation. It doesn't sound as good in this room as it does in the other. The acoustics in this one are a little bit messed up because it's our storage room, so there's a lot of stuff everywhere. But yeah, so that's the amp. Once again, there's a couple little neat tricks that you can do with it. It is cathode biased, so you can just pop tubes in and out. I wouldn't recommend putting a 12AX7 in the power section. There's been some debate about doing that. Don't. The transformers probably couldn't handle that. But yeah, so far, the main thing I'd suggest highly is, one, give time for the speaker to break in because it's really harsh when you first get it. That's pretty normal, but yeah, a lot of people newer to the scene don't really know that. Also, it definitely needs a retube. It comes with some stock Chinese 12AX7Bs and 12AU7Bs. Terrible sounding tubes. They're real stiff feeling and boxy. Any of your favorite CP or NOS tubes are fine. But like I said, so far the combination I like are RCAs, but I couldn't afford to get all RCAs for this. I have a bunch of amps. So I put the RCA 12AU7 in the power section, and then I'm running current production tubes in the preamp, which are EH12AX7s, Electro Harmonics, and those seem to fill it out pretty well. It's pretty smooth and dynamic and responsive now. It does take effects pedals really well. Maybe at some point after I heal up a little bit from my surgery, I will do a video and include a couple of different delay pedals I've got. I've got a Nova repeater, I've got a Boss DD7 that magically started working again, and I've also got this really cool DoD box from early 80s. It's analog, but it's got a power adapter and everything. It sounds really, really good with this amp. Noisy as hell, so I will have to run the decimator with that. But yeah, once again, that's this amp. You can get the head separately now. Personally, I think it can do pretty much any style really well. You just gotta know how to dial it in and be willing to use a boost. But most metal players, myself included, we use a boost anyway. We don't use the gain. We usually just use an OD pedal with the volume and the EQ that's on it. We pretty much don't usually use the gain. There are some players that will crank the gain up to, like, you know, 1 or 2 on the dial just to add a little bit more pick to their pick attack, but yeah, I'm not real into doing that. But yeah, add that and you're pretty much good to go.